Hello everyone. Today we will talk on the life cycle of malaria parasite. Let's start with the gametocyte from a person who is maybe symptomatic or asymptomatic. When mosquito feeds on this human carrying gametocytes, the male gametocyte fertilizes the female gametocyte, forming a zygote, then develop into ookinet. Then this ookinet will develop into oocyst. Oocyst will develop to sporozoites. This happens inside the mosquito gut. Sporozoites are released from oocyst, and this sporozoites migrates into salivary gland of the mosquito. When mosquito takes another blood meal, this will release sporozoite into the bloodstream. Sporozoites enters the liver cells, and they will stay in the liver cell and develop and release merozoites. These merozoites is released through the bloodstream and invades red blood cell. Inside the red blood cell, the merozoites develop and matures, and after 48 to 72 hours, the infected red blood cell ruptures, releasing more merozoites, which then invade another RBC, then develop and then release another merozoite, and this invasion and reinvasion is called the erythrocytic cycle. After about 3 cycles, some merozoites reinvade red blood cell, but instead of forming merozoite, they will form gametocytes. These gametocytes then will be the stage taken by the mosquito when the mosquito vector takes another blood meal. In Plasmodium vivax, the sporozoites that infects liver cell develops into hypnozoites. Some develop into merozoites. But these hypnozoites are dormant sporozoites inside the liver cells. They will develop later on, maybe after a few weeks or after a few months or after a few years, into merozoite, and then invade RBC, reinvade RBC. Then in vivax, when they invade RBC and release and develop in RBC, there is already gametocyte. Unlike in Plasmodium falciparum, it will need around 3 cycles before the development of gametocytes. While in Plasmodium vivax, once they enter RBC and develop inside RBC, the gametocytes are already formed, so it's formed earlier in the Plasmodium vivax infection. Development of parasite inside mosquito takes around 10 days, more or less. Then, from liver cells to bursting of RBC, this will take around 10 to 14 days. And for Plasmodium falciparum, from initial invasion of RBC to development of gametocytes will take around 10 days also. From bite of the mosquito to the development of symptoms is called incubation period. From gametocyte stage of the first victim to the gametocyte stage of the next victim is called incubation interval. This should be differentiated from incubation period It is very important in malaria elimination as well as in control. So we should remember incubation period and incubation interval. These things will be important in control and elimination of the malaria parasite in the community. In summary, mosquito takes gametocyte from a human carrier of malaria parasite. The human can be symptomatic or asymptomatic, develops inside the mosquito, and when mosquito feeds another human, this parasite is injected in the blood, invades liver cell, develop in the liver cell, release merocytes in the blood, merocytes invades red blood cell, and merocytes develop inside red blood cell, releasing more merocyte, and this invasion and reinvasion goes on, and after a few erythrocytic cycle, some of the merocytes develop gametocyte instead of merocyte that will reinvade another red blood cell. From the infective bite of the mosquito to the development of symptoms is called incubation period. From gametocytes of the first human to the gametocyte of the secondary victim is called incubation interval. Incubation interval lasts around incubation interval covers the period inside the mosquito in the human, and it is around 1 month. So 30 days here, 10 to 14 days here, and 10 days for development of gametocytes. But so it's 10 plus 14, 24 plus 10, it's about 34. While in vivax, it's 10 plus 14 days, it's just 25, because in vivax infection, once they are released from the liver and develop inside the red blood cell, gametocytes is already produced. Unlike in falciparum, it will take around 3 erythrocytic cycle before the parasite develops into gametocytes. I think that's all for today. Let me end here. The next episode will be about the malaria control activities, and we will be talking about control activities and the phases of malaria development cycle. See you in the next episode.